And this is really, really important for me because you guys know one of my goals is to help transform businesses, and to help entrepreneurs hit all of their goals. And especially if you have a business or you have an idea or you're a creative or something like that, that is something that you've been graced with. Your ideas are what's going to answer the complaints that you have for your life. Your business is a resource. It's not your life, but it is a resource to help you to live the life that you want to live. And so I want to make sure that I am preparing leaders to be successful in 2025. I want to see all of you guys thrive. I want to see all of you guys not only thrive, but thrive without having the headaches, and the unnecessary headaches that at times can come with entrepreneurship and leadership. Whether you're an entrepreneur or you're an entrepreneur, there's certain headaches that comes with it. And so I want to do whatever I can possible to make sure that you maximize the next year, and to make sure that you're maximizing your resources. So I'm going to give you guys some time to kind of get settled in. I would recommend, just for a second, if you're not driving, get a little something to jot down some notes with, because this is going to be important. And once I tell you guys this, once you kind of go through this and you work through this little mini workshop that we're going to do today, you won't have an excuse. You would have directions as to what you need to prepare to make sure that you thrive next year. Y'all, we've had like 4 years of rest. 4 years of, trying to get back into the swing of things. 4 years past the post C word. We've had 4 years of all of those things, right? Now it's time for us to get to business. And especially for everyone, if you're paranoid about the economy, you're paranoid about the government, you're upset, whatever, right? How about this? How about in 2025, you run your revenge business? Do you guys remember when Khloe Kardashian had that show that was called Revenge Body? Well, in 2025, I want you to get your revenge check. I want you to get your revenge check. I want you to run your revenge business. But yeah, like your glasses and hair from Louisiana. What's up, Doris? My family's from Lake Charles, Louisiana. You ever been to Lake Charles? Do you know where Lake Charles is? Hold on, I got my flash semi open. Do you know where Lake Charles is? Thank you so much. You do? Okay, yeah. And now that you're looking at me, you're probably like, yeah, she looked like she from Lake Charles. Yeah. Whenever I tell people that, they're like, yeah, you look like somebody from Lake Charles. I'm like, I don't know. I don't know exactly what that means, but we're gonna get it. So yeah, I want you guys in 2025 to get your revenge money, to run your revenge business, whatever that is, right? So we're gonna make that, all of that make sense. We're not gonna focus on getting our revenge body and all that other stuff, right? Exactly. So and you got to remember this, right? I like to play. I don't have to play by all the rules, but in everything that we do, there are certain rules to systems and economies or whatever. And so instead of, acting and focusing on how things should be, right? What I do is transform things based on how they are. Meaning I'm staying grounded in reality and also by staying grounded in reality, I'm also helping to manipulate my future by focusing on playing by the rules, right? Focusing on the system. Unless you're going to create a new system, you want to win by the system that's in front of you. I think that's a better way to put it. And so what I don't want to happen is for any of you guys to be left behind in the next few years. Exactly, right? But guess what? We don't even have to manifest this. Really, what I'm teaching you, what kind of crazy is being sold here? I don't know, DJ Minerals. We're talking about how to set your business up for 2025. Now, if you don't have a business, it might be crazy for you to be in this live because what I'm about to go over is not going to apply to you. But yeah. So what I want us to do is focus on, hey, look, here are the rules to society. Right? The United States, guess what it's driven by? Finance. It's driven by business. It's driven by the economy. Change happens when you have the money to make change happen. So I want every single one of you guys to prepare to run your revenge business if you're upset. if you're not upset, then just let's focus on thriving and things of that nature. And so there's 3 points that I want to focus on with helping prepare all of you guys for 2025. And if you don't know me, my name is Yannick Medor. I am the CEO of The Right Way LLC. And what I do is help transform businesses to where I have an employee development company where CEOs will allow me to work with their key team members for maybe 8 to 12 weeks, helping them to increase their revenue, increase their sales, things of that nature. And I also help in executive development, teaching executives and CEOs how to influence their team, how to strategically plan, and how to just get the most and the best out of their businesses. And I'm a really, really, really big believer in maximizing resources and not wasting any of our resources. What are your resources? Your time, your effort, your money, your employees, your ideas. And sometimes what I find is I'll have clients that'll come to me and they're saying, I just need more money. I need this. I need that. I need to come up with a new idea. I need to do this, this is this. And then when we really peel back the layers, what I find is that they're saying that they're trying to do something new, but they haven't really maximized what they already have. And so before you try to create something new, let's say you have a business where you can get a gallon of water out of it. I find that people will, have a cup full and they're like, okay, let's move on. You haven't even finished the food that you have right now. You haven't gotten the most out of the groceries that are in your refrigerator right now. Why are you going to the grocery store? There's still things to cook right here. And if you don't cook them, it's going to spoil. So the same way that we can go and buy groceries and let them rot in the refrigerator, many of us run businesses and we have ideas that we have just sitting there rotten. Or we eat half of it and we just throw the rest away. And then we just hope and pray and wish, for other opportunities when we haven't really done as much as we can with the opportunity that's in front of us. But I do believe that 2025 is definitely going to be a big shift for people, and it's going to start a huge shift. I believe that by 2027, we're going to see some economic downfall in the United States. That's a bit more than the trickling that's happening right now. And I don't want to even get into like blaming administrations or things like that. This is a culmination of things that have been happening for a very, very long time that I do believe it's going to reach kind of a tipping point in the next 3 years. And so what I want to do is to make sure that anyone that's under my influence, under my tutelage, anything like that, that they're getting the most and setting their lives up to where they are able to thrive. All right. And for the believers out there, so you can see the goodness of God in the land of the living. All right. So there's 3 things that I want to focus on today. So the first thing I want you to focus on for anything that you're doing is I want you to focus on leveraging AI technology. Right. And I want you to think about whatever it is that you do, or whatever industry you're in, or whatever industry you plan to be in. I want you to think about, how can I use technology to make me a trendsetter, in my industry? How can I use and leverage technology to keep me ahead of the curve in everything that I'm doing? What I don't want any of us to be is a master of what's old. So how many of you guys remember like Blockbuster and all that stuff? Imagine if someone really, really mastered a video rental storefront where you go in and you buy DVDs and things of that nature. But they mastered the system of it, and they have like the best marketing, and they invest all these marketing and things of that nature. What's the point of being a master of what's old? What's the point? Tiger, we're focusing on we're focusing on how to plan to thrive in 2025. And this is a conversation for small and medium-sized business owners, entrepreneurs, creative entrepreneurs, some entrepreneurs. So what I want you to do is, and I want everyone to type in the chat, what industry are you in? Or if you're not currently in the industry you want to be in, I want you to type in the chat, what industry do you want to get into? Because remember, we're focusing on planning for 2025 and not waiting until 2025 gets here. If you're waiting on 2025 to get here, you're going to miss the boat, friend. We don't plan when it's game time. We don't plan when it's game time. So I want everyone to write in the chat, what industry are you in? Type it in now. And this is going to help me know who all I'm talking to, because I believe most of you guys are new. Actually, all of you guys are new. Okay. Bless y'all. Right? All of you guys are new. So I want you to type what industry you're in, and that will also familiarize to where I can be familiar with what it is that you all do. Are you in manufacturing? Or are you looking to get into manufacturing? Auto body, you own your own shop. Amazing. All right. Anyone in real estate? Telecommunications, transportation, tourism? Anyone in media, manufacturing, computing, commerce, banking, finance, and mining? That's going to be something we're going to need, right? Pharmaceuticals, politics, right? And if y'all in war stuff, you sell ammo and things of that nature. So I want you, so you're in auto body, right? So I want you to think about, what are some ways that you can use technology and artificial intelligence to transform your business, to make you more money, to make your business more competitive, to grow? How can you use technology to do that? Here's my simple four question formula that I always use. My goal in everything in business is to do one of these four things: to make more money, to make my customers happier. And for me, my customers are my employees and my actual clients. How is this going to save me time? And how is this going to put me ahead of the curve? How is this going to make me a thought leader in the industry? So for some of you guys, that may be the first thing that you have to change, to where you have to intentionally focus on being a thought leader in your industry. Sometimes we don't want to do something until everyone else has already tried it and it's tried and proven. But the people who are making it big are thought leaders. They're the ones that wants to put the stake in the ground first. Some of you guys have really, really amazing ideas that you can utilize. And that's the answer to many of the challenges that you've had, many of the frustrations that you have, but you haven't done anything with it yet because you don't want to be the first to do it. You're afraid of being the first. You want to read 1,000 Amazon reviews, but that's for consumers. I'm in business and consulting. So you want to make sure that you're the first person to put the stake in the ground. The people who are making the money, the money that you want to make, they want to be the first. Like right now, the United States is in a competition with a far eastern country where this platform comes from. To who can be ahead in artificial intelligence. Why? Because there's a lot of money being the first to do something. Think about how much money was produced in the United States because Google was created in the United States. Imagine if they were focused on, waiting until there was a million other types of search engines or the internet or things of that nature. That's one of the beautiful things about being in the United States, is the United States is always focused on being first. Why? Because usually the thought leader in that industry is also one of the ones that controls the industry. So how can you leverage technology to be a thought leader in that industry? How can you use technology to help you do something new at a rate in which it was very, very, very expensive to do before. One of the things that I love, like I use AI right now to really help me to find trends and to determine marketing budgets, marketing plans, things of that nature. So if I have events and things of that nature that I need, I don't have to hire, a $30,000, $40,000, person to put together a marketing plan. I can get a basic marketing plan and strategy and ideas for that in less than 5 seconds. I literally today asked my AI assistant, my AI sales manager, because one of the hey T, so one of the things that I do is I use artificial intelligence workers. This does not replace like an assistant or things of that nature, but what I will say is that your employees can use this to work better and faster. And so I literally just asked, hey, I have this event that's coming up in January. I need a marketing plan that I can execute on in less than 5 hours that will help me hit all of my revenue targets and make sure that I deliver a great product to my target audience. In less than 5 seconds, it gave me an answer. We have to be able, so think about what are the hindrances that you have and the challenges that you have in business that are preventing you from making the money that you want to make, preventing you from making your customers as satisfied as they could be, meaning you're making things easier for them, you're making it more accessible, you're meeting their needs, things of that nature better. How's it going to save you time, and how's it going to make you a trendsetter in your industry? How can you leverage technology to do it? If you don't commit to finding the answer to that, you are going to be left behind in 2025. Y'all, when I go in and I make it my business to use as much and to find as much technology as possible that I can use in my business. And what I realize is that a lot of businesses that are thriving are using a lot of technology to help them get ahead, to help them market. How many of you guys have been in situations to where, thank you so much. How many of you guys have been in situations to where you have all these goals, but you just don't have the time to execute on all the plans that you have? You just run out of time. Let's be honest. Many of us are mothers and fathers, spouses. We have other things that we have to deal with in addition to driving this idea forward, driving this business forward. And what I love is because of technology, because of technology, we can get a lot of these things done in half the time, leaving room for us to work on our business instead of in our business. Like literally, I have technology to where I input all of my clients' metrics, and instead of me having to go in and analyze it, it analyzes it for me. To where there was a big part of my business, because I am a coach and a consultant, and I always have programs, and like I said, I have my leadership development sessions to where I work with my clients' employees and teach them how to sell better and how to be more productive and how to lead and things of that nature. And so I always have metrics that I use, and that I have them sent to me. And so one of the big things that I had to do was go through and analyze all their metrics and send them feedback and create plans and things of that nature, to where now there's technology to where I just send all the metrics and it analyzes it for me and says, hey, pay attention to this person, pay attention to that person, right? Well, when you have 40 and 50 people whose metrics you're entering on a day-to-day basis, that used to be something that could take me, if not 8 or 9 hours, to analyze all that and to send feedback. So now I have to go back to work. Contact me if you can help. Well, one of the things I want you to do is, if it's something that you need to do, I have a strategic planning retreat on January the 4th. So sign up for my email list for sure. So one of the things that really, really helped me. Hello, John. I think that's what your name, John Denny. Yes. So one of the things that helps me is I use AI technology to analyze that for me. So, and I tell them, hey, if someone falls between this, they're considered to be in the red. If someone falls between these arrows, they're considered to be in the yellow. If someone falls between this, they're considered to be in the green. And so I send all of this in there and it go ahead and lets me know, okay, these people are in the red. So that lets me know, okay, you need to get in contact with these people, have some conversation, schedule some one-on-one time, schedule, maybe some emails, some feedback, things of that nature, to help, bring these people up, and so it just helps so much. And so then I can spend most of my time focusing on things that actually make my company money. Every time I have a conversation with a client, I'm making money. Every time I'm actively marketing, actively selling, I'm making money. So I want to spend the majority of my time as a CEO bringing in new business. I don't want to spend a lot of time working in the business, but I want the same thing for, assistants. If you have someone working in marketing or what have you, right? Depending on how big your team is, I want everyone to spend the majority of their time on activities that actively make the company money. This is important because, look, especially if you're an entrepreneur right now or you have a job right now, if you work for a business that doesn't put enough effort into, sorry, I got like a hair hanging right in front of my face. If you're working a business right now that doesn't put enough effort and time into money making activities, your growth is very limited. There has to be a certain amount of income that comes into the business for me to give someone a raise or to give them additional benefits or, maybe send them on a paid vacation, all of those things. So everyone's happiness and everyone's satisfaction within the business is contingent upon us being able to prioritize revenue generating activities. And so I want all of you guys think about what you're doing and what you're spending your time on or what you should be spending your time on. And is there something that exists? Is there technology that exists to do so? Whether it's writing client emails, could you hire an AI virtual assistant? Literally, I can ask my AI virtual assistant to search for within a certain zip code an event location. Hey, this is my budget for the event. I want the event between this time and this time. This is, the type of atmosphere I want. This is the setup. Like it's going to be a classroom style event. And I can literally say time, date, style, the vibe that I'm looking for, the aesthetic that I'm looking for. And I can ask my online virtual assistant to pull me at least 5 options and to get in contact and to email those venues. That takes me 2 minutes to input, and they can automatically schedule the emails that I would have wanted or needed, not wanted, needed to have sent myself. 10 years ago, that wasn't an option. I would have literally had to spend, 2 hours online doing research trying to find an event location. I can have AI send me 20 locations and have them send out an email inquiry to each one of those locations because it pulls all the contact information from the web. These are things that you need to do so that way you're not spending most of your time working in your business versus working on your business. If you're doing manual lead generation, cold calling is easier, way easier than it was years ago. And so there's so many different, and depending on the industry, and I'm naming things that are beneficial to the industry that I'm in based upon, the type of work that I'm doing day to day. But, depending on the industry that you're in, that could look completely different, completely different. And so I want every single one of you to focus on, hey, what can I do? How can I leverage technology? Okay, so point number 2, you have to create a strategy for sustainable growth. So heavy emphasis on growth. In 2025, you cannot break even. 2025, you have to go for more than enough. You have to completely divorce. If we could just do this, all I want is, that's all comes from a space of lack. And if you've had a hard few years, it's very likely that in your mind, you're still thinking in terms of just enough. And it's really hard, especially if you've gone through a difficult season in business. to get out of the mindset to where you're going for just enough here. If I could just get here. No, what we want to do is we want to overpower our goals, and we settle, meaning absolute worst case scenario, we settle for a little bit more than enough. That's if everything else goes wrong. But what we're going to do is we're going to shoot for the moon every single time. Or we'll say this, we're going to shoot for Pluto every single time, and then just have a little party if we land on the moon. And what I found is that typically all we will do is either meet or fall right below whatever goal we have set. So let's say you set a goal to where you want to make an extra, I don't know, you want to bank, you're welcome. Let's say you want to bank an extra 10 grand a month, right? If you set your target for $10,000, it's very likely that you're going to hit $10,000 or below. But if you really needed to hit $10,000, what you want to do is set a goal for 20, 30, 40. Because once you say I want to make $40,000, you got to start thinking and strategizing differently. Or if you want to make 100 grand or something like that, you've got to think and strategize differently. And so that difference in the way that you strategize is really just you increasing the intensity level of what you're doing. So for instance, let's say you want to lose 5 pounds. You can lose 5 pounds just if you stop drinking soda. If you could drink soda every day and you just cut out soda every day, you can lose 5 pounds from just doing that. Let's say you want to lose 50 pounds, and we'll give it a time. Maybe you want to lose 50 pounds in a few months, and you want to lose 5 pounds in a few months. That's nothing, right? But if you want to lose 50 or 100, that's a different level of intensity. Now you got to cut your calories down. You got to meal prep. You got to meal plan. You got to work out. You have to ensure that your body is in a even zero sugar, right? You have to make sure that your body is in a caloric deficit every day, no matter what. And if it's 50, you got to make sure it's a significant caloric deficit every single day. We're talking like a 500 calorie deficit every single day in order for you to lose weight consistently, right? For months on end. Because 2 pounds a week, 4 weeks, for months on end, for about 6 months. That's a completely different intensity level. Hold on one second, y'all. Y'all don't go anywhere. I'll be right back. I think I know who this is. Hold on. One second.